Okay. Now we are going to start with the new chapter. Which is stoichiometry. This chapter is completely based on calculations, a few definitions and calculations. So the first thing that we are going to discuss today is relative atomic mass, AR. So we can state that it is the average mass of the isotopes of an element. Do you remember what are isotopes?
Yes, sir.
Same number of electron and proton with different number of neutrons.
The atoms having a different number of neutrons and the same number of protons and electrons. So if the elements have isotopes, so we take their average mass and then we compare to the 1/12th of the mass of an atom of carbon 12. That is called relative atomic mass. Since it's relative, so it has no unit. Okay. No unit of relative atomic mass as its relative. And why we choose carbon? That every element is related to carbon. Just give me a minute, please. Okay. So it has no unit because it's relative. And why we choose carbon, that we are relating everything is with carbon, it is because carbon is the most abundant element found. So that's why we choose carbon. Okay. And from where we get these values, the relative atomic mass? So the value of relative atomic mass is found in periodic table. See, if you look at the periodic table, here you will find the key. And in this key, it is mentioned that the last value is the relative atomic mass or AR. So in each box of element, like here, for beryllium, it's 9. For lithium, the relative atomic mass or AR is 7. For sodium, it's 23. For magnesium, it's 24. Is this understandable? Okay. Now, examples of relative atomic mass. So, for example, if I has hydrogen, its relative atomic mass is 1. Sodium, its relative atomic mass is 23. Carbon, its relative atomic mass is 12. Oxygen, its relative atomic mass is 16. Nitrogen, its relative atomic mass is 14. Chlorine, its relative atomic mass is 35.5. Etc. Now, after this, the second definition and the term you must be familiar with is relative molecular mass. Yes, Khatija?
Sir, in relative atomic mass, I didn't get the last line which is written 1/12 of the mass of an atom of carbon-12.
See, if we take the carbon atom, they have considered that carbon atom has a 12 units. Then we relate the mass of every other atom and then compare with those 12 units, that as compared to those 12 units, how much the other atom has units. So that would be its mass. So for in case of a hydrogen has a mass equal to 1 unit of a carbon 12. And if we compare it to sodium with the carbon 12, so sodium's mass is 23 times greater than the mass of 1 unit of carbon 12. So that's how we relate it. That's how we compare it. Is this
Okay,
understandable?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So next we have a relative molecular mass. And we call it MR. Okay. So relative molecular mass, or MR, it is the sum of relative atomic masses of the atoms present in the formula. And the term relative molecular mass, the symbol is MR, but the term, this term is used for covalent substances. It is used for covalent substances. So when if I say the relative molecular mass of, let's say, methane, so it means that methane is a covalent substance. If I say relative molecular mass of carbon dioxide, so it's a covalent substance. On the other hand, if there is an ionic substance, so for ionic substance, relative formula mass, both either relative molecular mass or relative formula mass, both calculated by the same way, and both are represented by the same symbol, which is a M in the uppercase and a R in the subscript, which must be in the lowercase. But when we use the term formula mass, it means we are talking about the ionic substance. And when we use the term molecular mass, it means we are talking about the covalent substance. Both has a same symbol, which is MR. Okay. So for ionic substance, relative formula mass is used. Now, how we will calculate the MR? And let's have a look at 3 examples, which I'm going to do it right now. And after this, I will provide you few examples that you guys need to do it. Okay. So first one is sodium chloride. Second one is, let's say, N2, nitrogen. Third one is glucose, C6, H12O6. Fourth one is Na2CO3 dot 10H2O. And fifth one is aluminium sulfate. Now, for this, we need the AR values for all of the elements. So AR values, carbon is 12, sodium is 23, chlorine is 35.5, aluminium is 27, then sulfur is 32, hydrogen is 1. Did I left with any element? Or I have mentioned all? No, carbon. No, I have mentioned carbon. Yes. So we use these values. So how many sodium atoms are there in sodium chloride in the first formula?
1 atom.
1. So 1. And what is the AR of the sodium?
23
23.
23. Then how many chlorine are there? 1.
plus 35.
35.5. So you will add them. So it's 23 and 35.5. If you add them, you get 28.5. Here, there are 2 atoms of nitrogen. And what is the AR of nitrogen?
14.
14.
Sir, it's 28.
Yeah. So 2 times 14, it's 28. Then 6 carbon atoms. So 6 times 12. 12 hydrogen atoms. The AR of hydrogen is 1. So 12 times 1 and 6 oxygen atoms, and it's 16. So if you add them, you are going to get 180.
180.
Here, there are 2 sodiums. So 2 times 23 plus 1 carbon. So I just write 12. It's not necessary because it's 1, right? So 3 times 16. Okay, now, if you look at hydrogen, how many hydrogens are there? 2. What is the AR of hydrogen? 2. 1. So 2 hydrogens makes it 2. And oxygen? What is the mass of oxygen?
16.
16. Its AR is 16, right? So 16 and 2, 18. And how many of water are there? In the formula, how
10.
many water? 10. So 10 times 18, you will do it directly like this. Now add them. 46. 16 times 3, 48.
286.
Sorry,
Sir, it's 286.
236.
80.
286. Okay. Then for aluminium sulfate, there are 2 aluminiums. So 2 times 27. Okay, how many sulfur we have? 1. So I can just write 32 as well. Its AR is 32. How many oxygens? No, it's not 1. There are 3. So see, outside the bracket 3 is written. So 3 sulfurs, so 3 times 32. And how many oxygens we have? No,
Sir, 12.
12.
Yeah.
There are 4 and outside the bracket we have 3. So as they becomes 3, so they will becomes 12. 4 times 3 is 12. So 12 times 16. Yes, what is the MR?
$342.
342.
Sir, it's 340.
342, right?
Yes, sir.
Now after this, copy this down quickly. Now I'm going to give you the formulas and you have to calculate the relative molecular mass or the relative formula mass of the of those. Done? Yes, everyone done with this? Okay. Now here you go. Calculate the MR of following. So first one is H2, then Cl2, then P4, then H2O, then CO2, NH3. Copy this quickly. After NH3, we have H2SO4, magnesium hydroxide, MiOH twice, silicon dioxide, Al2O3, calcium phosphate, C4H10 butane, then 13 is C12H22O11 called sucrose. Then 14 is CuSO4 dot 5H12. And 15 is Mg magnesium nitrate MgNO3 twice. Is this readable to all of you? Is it visible? Okay, so I'm writing the AR values over here. Carbon is 12. Hydrogen is 1. Chlorine is 35.5. Nitrogen is 14. And everyone must have a periodic table from the next class. Sulfur is 32. Silicon is 28. Phosphorus is 31. Magnesium is 24. Aluminium is 27. Calcium is 40. What else left? Oxygen 16. If I left any element, please tell me. There is a copper, which is, I think, 64. Let me confirm. Yeah, it's 64. Yes, did I miss any element? Who left the class? Khatija, Aisha, Usman. Okay. Now,
The copper transitional metal.
yes, it's a transition. Carbon, hydrogen, chlorine, nitrogen, sulfur, silicon, phosphorus, magnesium, aluminum, calcium, oxygen, copper. So as you guys finish it, WhatsApp me, okay? Start calculating if you are done writing the questions. And it's Ca3PO4 twice, the second last on the first in the first column. So, how are you? Where you guys been from? So, where are they? Okay. Congratulations. It's H2. तो लिखने में क्यों इतना टाइम लग रहा है? Sir, writing बहुत slow है. All the chapters है? We have started in English today. After this, we will start in organics. We are doing the almost plus of the. God has uploaded the metallic bonds, metals lectures in the YouTube channel. We will start doing from there. Okay, if I start from H2, the easiest one, it is going to be 1 times 2 gives you 2. Or we are doing the number of atoms and then the mass AR. So it's 2. There are 2 chlorines. And the AR of chlorine is
71.
71. Then there are 4 phosphorus. So 4 times 31. 124. 2 times 1, as there are 2 hydrogens and only 1 oxygen. So 2 times 1, 2, and plus 16, 18. Then 1 carbon, 12. 2 oxygens, so 2 times 16, 32, and 32 times
48.
12, 44. Nitrogen, 1,
sir, 40.
14. And 3 hydrogens, so 3 times 1, 3 plus 14, 17. 2 hydrogens, 1 sulfur, 32, and 4 oxygens. So 4 times 16, 64. 64 and 32, 96. 96 plus 2, 98. Then magnesium, 24. 2 oxygens, so 2 times 16, 32. And 2 hydrogens, so 2 times 1, 2. So 32 and 2, 34, 34, 38, 58,
Sir,
right?
57 होगा ना?
Sorry,
Sir, 57 हो गए, 58 हो गए.
58. All the numbers are even, so how it becomes odd? There are 2 hydrogens
Okay,
and 2
sir.
oxygen because there is a 2 written outside the bracket, which means which is multiplied by the subscript of the elements which are inside the bracket. Okay, I've received.
Yes, sir, got it.
Okay, do these 4 quickly. Saad, where are the answers? You just put it the values. So silicon is 28 and 2 times 16, 32. So 32 and 28, 60.
Can you hear me?
60.
Yes, I can hear you. 27. So 2 times 27.
जो 8 में लिखा है उसका आंसर 64 नहीं होगा
16 times 2 is 32, right? 32 plus 24 plus 2. Add them. So 34, 38, 58. It's not 64. So plus 3 times 16 is 48, 48 and 54.
77 ना sir?
102. 3 calciums. So 3 times 12, sorry, 3 times 40, 120. There are 2 phosphorus. So 2 times 31 is 62, 62 and 120 is 182. And there are how many oxygens? 8. So 8 times 16 is 128. So 128 and 120 is going to be 248. 248 and 62.
310.
310. 4 times 12, 24. No, sorry, 48. And 10 times 1. So it's 58, right? Okay. Now calculate these three quickly. कोई एक तो मुझे कैलकुलेट करके दिखा दो। चलो अब ये तीनों करो जल्दी से, quickly do it quickly.
सर ये 14 वाले में मल्टीप्लाई तो नहीं करेंगे ना?
Yes, we multiply 5 with the MR of water. That's what we have did over here. See this example. We calculated the MR of water over here, which is 18, and there are 10 water. So we multiply this by the MR of water and then add with all. So we will do the same for 14.
सर 342 है।
Okay, let's see what others will get. बेटा ये तीनों मुझे कैलकुलेट करके दिखाओ जल्दी से। 13 कर लिया? क्या आ रहा है? दोबारा चेक करो, गलत है।
सर कॉपर 68 होते हैं।
गलत। 14, 13 गलत गलत गलत। दो गलत। Why you are multiplying 12 by 35.5? It's carbon, not chlorine. Yes. Yes.
सर मैं क्लोरीन सुन रहा हूँ, Cl2 सुन रहा हूँ।
It's C12.
342.
Good.
Age 22 is not time.
Yeah. So 12 times 12 plus 22 times 1 plus 11 times 16, 342. Yes, copper is 64. 32, 4 times 16 plus 5 times 18. It's 250.
Yes, sir.
यस सर।
Magnesium is 24. How many nitrogens we have here? 2. So 2 times 14. And how many oxygens we have here? 6. So 6 times 16. Yes, who will tell me the answer? 148. 16 times 6 is 96. And 24. 120. 120 and 148. Right? Good.
यस सर।
Is this clear to all of you? How we will calculate the MR?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, after the MR, the next thing that we are going to start is calculating the percentage mass, the percentage of an element. Everybody done till here?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. So next thing is percentage by mass. And how we will calculate percentage by mass is taking the mass of an element in the numerator and the MR of the whole compound in the denominator and times it with 100. So we'll get the percentage. For example, if I have to calculate the percentage of nitrogen in magnesium nitrate. So in magnesium nitrate, how many nitrogens are there? Yes, 2. So the mass of 2 nitrogen would be 2 times 14 because there are 2 nitrogens. Is this clear? Then the AR we have calculated, the MR we have calculated just over here, it's 148, right? So that comes in denominator and then times it 100, we will solve it, we will get the percentage. Is this clear to all of you?
Yes, sir. Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
That is mass or and MR mean same or are they different?
Yeah, both are the masses. When we use the term MR or AR, when we use the term AR, it means we are talking about the mass of only one atom. And when we are using the term MR, it means we are talking about the mass of only one molecule. But there are multiple atoms or molecules, so we can just use the term mass instead of AR or MR.
Okay, sir.
18.9. Okay. Now, see, now I want you guys to attempt this question. Here they have given you the formula of the two compounds and they are asking to justify that hexadecene C6H14 has a greater percentage of carbon, right? So you have to calculate the percentage of carbon in both the compounds to show which one gets in which you will get the higher percentage.
18
Yeah, C8H18 and the C16H34.
percentage.
Yes, of carbon.
हो गया सर।
हो गया सर।
Show me what's up in your solutions.
सर ऑक्टेन पे कार्बन की 84.2% है और हेक्साडीसेन पे 84.9।
Okay, so percentage of carbon in C8H18 is equals to 8 carbons times 12, and in new denominator 8 times 12 plus 18, because we have to calculate the MR, and times it 100. In the same way we will do for carbon in C16H34. So 16 times 12 in the numerator and 16 times 12 plus 34 for the MR and times it 100. So what percentage we are getting?
सर 84.2 और 88.8
84
सर 85.7
0.2%. Here you will get 84.9, not check again. So we have shown that C16H34 has a greater percentage. Is this clear?
यस सर।
Okay. You guys are done with the first one, then try these two quickly.
सर क्या लिखा हुआ है NH4
Yes, NH4NO3. Okay, let me zoom in. One. Hydrogen has a 14. Potassium is 39.
Sir, is the answer 17.5%?
I'm not sure. Just send me your working, so I'll check.
सर it's 35%।
Okay. Yeah, it's probably.
सर मेरा 35 आ रहा
Yes, 35 is correct. Have you calculated? 35. Good. Yes, Lava, what you are getting? Yes, Khadija, did you figure out your mistake?
सर in the second one it's 13.9।
For the second one, it's 13.9. Let me check.
Sir, first वाले में मैंने 14 divided by 80 into
By
100
14,
किया
see
था.
how many nitrogens first compound has.
Sorry, sir.
Yeah,
पोटासियम वाला कितना बोला आपको
39. Yes, Saad, you also see there are two nitrogens, not one in NH4NO3. There are twice, right? Potassium is 39.
सर 35%।
Yeah. For the first one,
सर सेकंड वाले का 13.8 है।
One minute. Yeah, it's correct.
Then sir,
Okay. Now I'm sharing a file on the group, so you guys may attempt further questions of percentage yield. And after this, we will be starting in the next class, we will be starting the empirical and the molecular formula. Okay.
Yes, sir.
And what else we do, I will share the steps, so you guys have noted down those steps. I will discuss those steps and we will do the questions directly. So I'm sharing both the things to the WhatsApp group.
sir percentage yield में theoretical और divided by है।
Would that is percentage yield, that what we will do in the end. Okay.
Okay sir.
Okay, check. Everyone received the file. What's this?
सर अभी तक फाइल नहीं आई है।
Yes, 1 minute, please. Okay. I've shared the file in which the steps are written for to find the empirical and molecular formula. Do complete this before the next class. So we will just do the questions of that. And you guys didn't get the file. Let me share that.
सर फाइल आ गई है।
Now I'm sharing the like 3 to 4 classes. Okay, I've shared the worksheet for the percentage yield as well. Okay. Okay. So see you everyone in the next class. Take care.
ओके सर अल्लाह हाफिज़।
Office.